Hi, I'm Professor Rachel Stuckey, and I am a professor here at SUNY Korea. I teach in the Fashion Business Management Department of FIT, and I also teach art classes for Stony Brook University students. Okay, so I have 3 different recommendations, and they're all different types of things. So the first one is a book, and it's called The Design of Everyday Things by Don Norman. And basically this book is talking about how we as humans interact with objects and how they can be designed better to make that clear to humans how they should be used. So it's a really interesting book. So the second recommendation I have is sort of like an internet rabbit hole for you to go down. So instead of just binging cat videos, which nothing wrong with cat videos, but instead something that will kind of push you and make you think and learn is doing an internet search for Ray and Charles Eames. So I'd recommend starting at the Eames Office YouTube channel. So basically, if you've ever seen any of these are really famous styles of furniture, so I'm just going to show you some of them. So if you've ever seen something like this or a knockoff of these kind of designs, that is all from the Eames. There were a couple, and they started out in the 40s playing with different manufacturing techniques for bending plywood, and came up with really innovative designs to help during World War II, actually, with splints that were formed and molded for soldiers. And then they used those manufacturing techniques to go into furniture, but actually they did much more than that. Their background was, he was an architect and she was a painter, and then they went off in all sorts of different directions. So I really think they're very interesting because it's really focused on just because you're trained in one thing doesn't mean you can't explore and be really innovative in other areas. So they also did a lot of films for like IBM and the World's Fair and lots of stuff. So I have a couple to recommend for you. So this one it's like actually their most famous. So these are from like the 50s, 60s, so they might look a little old school, but I swear, give them a chance, and they're really interesting. So this is called The Power of Tens. I'll just start it. So basically, it's this concept of that they're going to expand. If you've ever seen a shot like that starts on Earth and then zooms out into space, that comes from this video. So it's a little old school, but
the picnic near the lakeside in Chicago was the start of a lazy afternoon, early one October. We begin with a scene 1 meter wide, which we view from just 1 meter away. Now, every 10 seconds, we will look from 10 times farther away, and our field of view will be 10 times wider. This square is 10 meters wide.
yeah,
And in
so
10
it's
seconds,
just
the next
zooming
square will
out
be 10 times as wide.
and shows you
Our
this
picture will center on the
perspective
picnickers,
really
even after
large
they've been
and
lost
then
to
going
sight.
really small back
100
again.
meters wide.
So, okay, so that's the first video. And then the second one is one about tops. So one thing that they were also really focused on was thinking about toys and play. And so this one is like just mesmerizing, very mesmerizing video, just showing tops from different cultures, different places in the world. A lot of cultures have made tops, and so it's just showing them spinning and how they work. So it's kind of, if you just need to zone out, I recommend checking this out. Okay. And then I have one quote. Oops. Here, I'll start talking about the quote after I can get it stopped. Okay, so this is a quote I really like from them, which are, toys are not really as innocent as they look. Toys and game are the prelude to serious ideas. So when you spend time playing or messing around, figuring out how things work, that's not wasted time. That really can lead to something more serious and innovative. So my third recommendation is a sketchbook. So I really think it's important to get off our screens, even if you can draw on your tablet or on your computer. Get off the screen, let your eyes have a rest, even if you're stuck inside, and get back to the physicalness of paper. So I've been playing around with oil pastels and pencils and markers. Let me show you just some of the stuff I've been messing around with. So I'm kind of doing some like landscapes, but not totally realistic, but kind of what's outside my window in a way. And this one, I just changed up the colors of the sky and the grasses. And then also playing with some paints and watercolor paints of my own houseplants, right? Some sketching as well. I'm gonna do some coloring right now for you. So I kind of sketched out, I'm not really a letter artist, but sketched out a little image for this project. So I'm just gonna do some coloring and then show you guys. Okay, so those were my 3 recommendations for you of things to do during COVID. So my message to students is, of course, this has been a difficult time and it has really changed the world that you're going to go to school in and go get a job in. And so your experiences now are going to shape what happens in the future. Even now, the career world is really changing because of this time in COVID. So what you've experienced, you will find useful in the future in the job that you choose to go into.